Just making live and then we start. Hare Krishna Matari, is the screen visible? Voice okay?
Yes, Prabhuji. Screen is visible
Hare-
and voice.
Audible. Okay. Okay, let's start. The people let's join. So, Hare Krishna. My humble obeisance to Radha, Govinda. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manovistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamaiham Dadati Swapadantikam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesh Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyo Eva cha पतितानं पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमद् भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे Hare Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. All glories to our founder Acharya, His Divine Grace, Except Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Guru Maharaj, and our Temple President, His Grace Now Minister Das Prabhu Ji. Hare Krishna. So, today's chapter is Karma Sannyasa Yoga, or action in Krishna consciousness. So, action in Krishna consciousness. So, primarily, before this, we had chapter 4, which is the transcendental knowledge. And in chapter 4, there was many things which Arjuna asked, and out of that, one was which is better, renunciation or action? When he asked this question, what is better? There is something in his mind when he asked. And the answer what Krishna gave was that action is better than renunciation. However, let us understand one thing, and that is the most important thing, and that is when Arjuna asked or mentioned renunciation, he meant renunciation of work. That means no fighting, going to the jungle, meditate, and things like that. However, when Krishna meant renunciation, then he meant the renunciation would be the renunciation of in work, not off work. In work, in the sense, the renunciation of the result of the action, and that is what the whole point of Krishna consciousness. In fact, in the level 1, we talked about various kinds of karma. So, anyone who is there, I cannot see the participants and devotees here. So, uh, if anyone can remember that, which are the 3 kinds of karmas we have? One is normal karma, then other is big karma.
Akarma.
And what is the
Akarma.
third?
Third one is akarma.
And what is akarma? Vikarma is going against the scripture.
Yes.
Right. Karma
Yes.
is a normal karma with good karma, bad karma. So good karma will, result in some good fortune and good deeds and things like that. Somebody may slowly go up, endeavor, and go to maybe Brahma Loko, Tapa Loko, Jana Loko, whichever Loko he can enjoy, then come back. Bad karma will result in, some bad deeds and papa, which will lead to hellish planets and so on and so forth. But what is akarma?
Doing your
Akar
karma. Yes.
no.
Doing.
Akarma, no, no, no. Akarma is not doing our karma. So rather, somebody can literally say that doing no karma is a karma, but that is also not correct. Akarma is primarily, in the words of Krishna, it is action in inaction. That is primarily akarma. So devotional service is purely akarma because it doesn't result into neither positive nor negative, neither good karma nor bad karma. It is a karma. So therefore, and that is what action in Krishna consciousness is all about. So let's proceed. So overview of this chapter. So five sections we can say. So 5.1 to 5.12. So first 12 verses is on the description of the lotus leaf, that how Padmapatra Vibham, what should be the state of mind to be in a position of, let's say, a karma. Then who are the three doers? So one is, let's say, sense, other is intelligence, and who is the third we'll see. So 13 to 16, and equal vision. So the person in the state of lotus leaf, how does it see? Person in Krishna consciousness, how does he see all the living entities? So what kind of equal vision he has? That is from 17 to 26, 27 to 28 is the introduction to the Ashtanga Yoga, which is practically the part of the Patanjali Yoga system. And then finally, the most important part of the chapter, and that is the peace formula. And there are many formulas. There is a liberation formula, there is peace formula, surrender formula, all formula is there. Krishna is there. So mercy that he is giving formula after formula, but we are not somehow easily adopting the formulas. Whereas we can very well remember all the formulas that we have to remember in our schools, whether it is the root square or a plus b square or even the calculus, whatever. But here, the most important formula we're forgetting. So there are three steps to be like a lotus leaf. So number one is do the duty without attachment. What does it mean? Do the duty without attachment. Attachment here would mean
Waiting for the
primarily,
result.
yes, attachment would mean expecting the result, waiting for the result, not moving on. So primarily doing duty with full involvement, but with zero attachment. That is the state of lotus leaf. And the offer the results to Supreme Lord. That is most important. Point is who you are referring to. Are you offering the result to yourself, to your senses, or your family, or to your nation, or to whom? That's more important. If it is not, if the results are not offered to Krishna, then it will have some result. Means the result will be some effect it will bear. Unless otherwise it is offered to Krishna, then it will have either bad result or it will have a good result depending on what kind of karma we're doing. Then with control over senses and mind. And why with control over senses and mind? Because without the control of sense and mind, it is not possible to, because that primarily leads to the regulative principles and various kinds of nivrittis, which are ultimately required to be in the platform of Krishna consciousness, in the sense that just to be in the platform, these are necessary, but it is not the last stage. It is just the base. So this is the takeaway. What is the takeaway? Clarifications are good. Who is clarifying? Arjuna is clarifying. What he's clarifying? He's clarifying which is what is better. We have not come to the verse. Is the Just one moment. Something happened to the. Yeah, clarifications are good. They are the evidence of interest and understanding, both in spiritual as well as material science, that we know very well. So therefore, Arjuna keep on in fact, the instruction which is given in Bhagavad Gita, the entire Bhagavad Gita is an instruction of Lord, the song of Lord. It is primarily coming because of the inquisitiveness and clarifications continuously being asked by Arjuna, one after another, one after another. Initially, in the first chapter, there are you know, five doubts or four doubts plus one in chapter two, leading to the answers by Lord in chapter two, and some part in chapter 3, and then these questions will carry on, and because of this answers to the questions, we, the mankind, the rest of the today, we are able to hear Gita, because the entire scene of Gita is a master plan of you know Krishna. It is not that Arjuna doesn't know anything. He's the Visakha Sakhi. He knows he's the permanent associate of Krishna. But this is all a beautiful arrangement so that we are able to hear Gita. That's how. And this is how the sequence is. This is a beautiful sequence that we should remember. And let us focus on at least the red items. Why? Because this is a connection which goes to the fourth chapter. And what is the connection? The connection is, how does it start? It starts with devotional service better than dry mental speculation, what it was told in the previous chapter. And second chapter, from 11 to 30, what was discussed was the knowledge of the soul. It is indestructible. Ajo ayam asa sotoyam purana no hannate hanyamane sarire. No bhavitavana bhuyaha. Everything, all that is discussed. So when Krishna told, because just to ensure that there is no sin, and because neither he or the kings or Arjuna or anyone, no one is going to die, because the living entity will never die. This logic, this spiritual logic was given by Krishna to refute one of the doubts, and the doubt was compassion. Now 31-37 is prescribed duties explained, that even if he doesn't go by this, then also he should do his prescribed duty, because fight for the sake, because no pain, no gain. That is another thing. Then 40 to 45, in fact, in the second chapter, what has happened was, suddenly Krishna introduced that, however, there are situations where soul gets entangled due to attachment to the fruitive activities. And also he gives a solution to it, saying that what is the solution of disentanglement? That is through devotional service. Up to this, it was okay. So 53 ended with this. However, in third chapter, 17 to 18, he said that no duty for a person who is in knowledge, who is in transcendental knowledge. Then chapter 4, 33, which we read last, was all kinds of sacrificial work culminates into knowledge. So various kind of sacrifices. So sacrifices in 4 yugas are different. So like fire sacrifice, temple worship, and japa, yagya in Kali Yuga. All these culminate into knowledge. Fourth chapter, Krishna again told Arjuna that get up and fight. Now let us just connect the last but 3 line and the last line. No duty for a person in knowledge, and get up and fight. So now Arjuna thought that this is a contradictory thing. He thought, although it is not, that on one side you are saying that there is no duty. I want to be in the knowledge. So there should not be any duty, then why should I fight? So what should I do then? Should I renounce? Go to the jungle, meditate, be in the knowledge, or fight? This is how the chapter 5 starts. So now Arjuna Vacha Sanyasam Karunam Krishna Punaryogam cha Samsashi Yasreya Eto Ryekam Tanme Bruhi Sunischitam. Anyone remember that this Bruhi Tanme was also there in second chapter? And what was that verse? Bruhi Tanme? Mataji, you remember? This is part of the Karpanna dosha, right? Karpanna dosha in the last part, what? Karpanna dosha pata swabha puchami tvam dharman samudo cheta yat shreyah syat nischitan bruhitan me. So Arjuna is always saying that whatever is the best for me, please tell me, Krishna. So which one is better? Arjuna said, "Oh Krishna, first of all, you ask me to renounce work, and then again you recommend work with devotion. Now, will you kindly tell me? Definitely. That is, Etoyor ekam tanme bruhi sunischitam. And definitely, which is the two is more beneficial. So now let us understand what sannyasa means. The whole point of sannyasa, let's say, is going, leaving everything, all materials, homely life, and then going to the jungle. And then what is to basically hold the four pillars of dharma. And what are the four pillars? There are four pillars. Number one is mercy, number two is truthfulness, number three is austerity, and four is cleanliness. Mercy is destroyed with non-veg eating because only a person can, kill who doesn't have mercy. Then truthfulness is destroyed with gambling. We know what gamblers do, always tell lies. And austerity is destroyed with intoxication. And then cleanliness is destroyed with illicit sex. Now, when somebody goes in sannyasa, leaves, particularly, let's say, he leaves his family and goes and stays in the jungle, then what happens? Primarily, certain things by default happens to him. For example, mercy. Mercy by default comes to him because he is merciful because he doesn't rely on agriculture, he doesn't rely on transporters. So, so he's not exerting any kind of force to the animals or to the agriculture. He's living on fruit. So mercy is taking care of. He's also truthful because first of all he's not talking to so many people. He's secluded. Then third is that okay, he has already reduced the luxuries and comforts. So naturally he's austere and clean. Of course, he has to be clean because he's getting up at 4 o'clock, doing all kinds of required sadhana, maintaining celibacy, bathing in time. All this he's doing. But most important point is that pillars are only important because they are because there is a roof which is standing on the pillars. So roof is important. Pillar is also important, but most important purpose is the roof, and a roof is the dharma. So because pillars are nothing but poles, if there is no roof on it, the roof is dharma. So now dharma, how to do the dharma, and what is the swadharma at this point for Arjuna? For Arjuna, the swadharma is fighting because he is Kshatriya. And a Kshatriya, once raises his bow and arrow, he is not supposed to put it down. It is like death already, Krishna has told. Now, what 5.2 again Krishna is saying? Sri Bhagavan Vacha Sannyasah Karma Yogascha Nishreya Karau ubhau tayostu karma sannyasat karma yoga vishishyate. The personality of God had replied, the renunciation of work and work and devotion are both good. So he's not saying one is better. He's saying, but he's not saying that renunciation is bad or something. Both are good. However, but of the two, work and devotional service is better than renunciation to work. So it is clarified. So therefore, we are in Krishna consciousness. Therefore, in ISKCON, most of the people are, first of all, not sannyasis. 98% are gruhis, they're householders, but doing beautiful devotional service with yukta vairagya. That's what Krishna Lord is also saying, that this is better. And why it is better? That also we know. Because we have many examples where people renounce everything. However, the effect of the sense gratification is there in the mind. The taste is already there in the mind. And unless it is taken care of, because mind in any case will engage. So now the question is that where to engage the mind? If we are transforming the engagement towards Krishna, and that is the only way. Otherwise, it will get engaged to the even if you are not doing today, you have already left everything. But whichever action we had done previously, those tastes of sense gratification will be there in the mind, and mind will dwell upon that. So, this is what further is amplified here. प्रापंचिकताया बुद्ध्या हरि संबंधी वस्तुनः मुमुक्षुभिः प्रत्यागो वैराग्यम फल्गु कथ्यते. So that is called a falgu vairagya or market vairagya. When a person eager to achieve liberation renounce things related to the Supreme Personal Godhead, thinking them to be material, their renunciation is called incomplete. Because Prabhupada always used to say that after all, what you are going to renounce? Because nothing is yours. Isha Vashyam idam sarvam. So if nothing is yat kincha yagatyam jagat, if nothing is ours, the body is not ours, air or which you are breathing is not ours, water which is not ours, the blood is not, nothing is ours. So what we are going to renounce? So we just cannot renounce. So renounce is a kind of an oxymoron. You cannot do it. So if you cannot do it, what should you do? So therefore, the idea of renouncing is not correct because nothing belongs to you anyway. Similarly, committing suicide is incorrect because even this body does not belong to us. We know that, and we don't have right over it. We need to use it in the service of Krishna. That is the only way out. So what is the way left out is to serve Krishna. There is no other way. Hare Krishna, there is no other way. So we can see three pictures here. So one is the renounced person, so-called renounced person. So do you think he is renounced? Jayasri ji, are you there?
Yes.
So is he renounced?
Sorry, Prabhuji.
Is he renounced? The person who is having the sadhu that we see here. Is he a sadhu?
No,
Why?
he's not announcing. He's
Yeah, he's what?
okay.
He's doing something, right? He's
Mm-hmm.
engaging
He's
himself.
using mobile.
Yeah, he's using mobile. He's supposed to,
Mhm.
he has already renounced everything, so nobody is there. So who he wants to talk? So there is a sense gratification which is going on there. Number one, there is a cigarette also. Intoxication is also there. So what is left out? After some time, he will be maybe doing something else. So already he's
Yes.
engaged in two sense enjoyment. Only maybe some rest of the enjoyments are which it is waiting for him. So it happens when people try to. This is what is called a dry renunciation. Means renunciation just for the sake of renunciation, but it is not an actual renunciation. So real renunciation is renunciation of the fruit of our work or the result of our work to Krishna. renouncing it to Krishna is called Yukta Vairagya, and that is what is the best thing, and that is what the akarma is all about. Akarma means that what we are doing as of now in this class, what we are doing, we are using everything for Krishna. We are using. We are reading chapter 5. We are using laptop. We are using Zoom. We are using voice, microphone. So many things we are using. Work with devotion. I mean, the best example is Pratap Deva of Odisha. You can see the kind of devotion where it doesn't it doesn't entail what position somebody is in. He's a king, but he's coming to the position of a sweeper and he's sweeping. I mean, you could have asked someone else to sweep, but this is the kind of devotion where humility is one of the most important. In 12th chapter, we know what are the various qualities. Same priya, same priya, same priya. So many verses are there. Humility, tolerance, so on are there, which are required for devotion. Otherwise, it becomes a Falgu Vairagya or a Markata Vairagya, like a monkey who goes from one branch to other branch. So sometimes he's renouncing, he'll go to Himalaya, next time he'll go to maybe some other place, maybe under a tree, to the lake. But wherever he goes, he carries the same mind or she carries the same mind. So unless we work on that with Yukta Vairagya, because we have to use all our senses, our eyes, our ears, our nose, our taste, our touch, all our senses we're supposed to use for Krishna, and then only we can get out of this, you know, material nature, so to say. Otherwise, in the Guna Vibhaga Traya, we have understood that how, Sattva, Raja, and Tama works. So this is so. Before this story, rather, I would ask that: does it happen to you that you do uh, a lot of things for your friend or your family member, maybe your husband, wife, son, daughter, relative, a friend, whoever, many things. You do lots and lots of things thinking that, finally he or she will be happy. But somehow, for some or other reason, it becomes negative in the sense that you were thinking in a absolutely good way, and finally it results in a negative. Does it happen this way many times? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Yes, yes, it happens. It has happened to me also. It has happened because this is the
Hare
way. The moment
Krishna.
why it happens is because when we're doing all these things for why we're doing because we think that that person will be happy or somebody will be happy. So we have an expectation. So we are not surrendering our. So what is the point here? That somebody will be happy means we're trying to make a person happy. We're not, so we want to, please someone. We're not trying to please Krishna. So, so if we are not able, we are not in a position to please Krishna, then it might many
Hmm.
time, bounce back, bounce back in terms of negativity. So this is a beautiful story that how you know somebody who's thinking about some fruitive activities, then how this fall down can happen. So this is a beautiful story of Nriga, a great king who was a great giver. Like Karna was a great giver, he was also a great giver. So he was doing lots and lots of charity. In any case, charity, penance, which are the three things which no one can ever leave: charity, penance, and anyone remembers? Charity, penance, and no one remembers? Dana, Tapa, and Yajna. So, charity, penance, and austerity. These three things nobody should leave. So he was doing a lot of charity. So what was doing on one fine day, he called some thousands of sorry, brahmana. So one brahmana came to him. So he gave him in charity 1,000 cows. So what has happened was, among the 1,000 cows, one cow somehow left the herd and came back and joined and came back to king's place. It's not known because 999 was there, so nobody knew. So what has happened is mixed up with king's herd, and the next day some other Brahmin came and he again gave another 1,000 along with the one who was come back from the previous Brahman. Now somehow these two Brahmins, they met each other and they started fighting, saying that this is my cow. Then he's saying, no, this is my cow. And in fact, now cow belongs to whom? It's a question because it has been sacrificed twice. Now they were so angry that they cursed the king, saying that you have done a double sin, not a single sin. Because first of all, you have sacrificed the cow and you have sacrificed it twice. So therefore, you will become a lizard. So this happened to the poor Niriga, and he was in a well as a lizard, but he was, because of his good karma, he was able to remember his life. So when Krishna came for a picnic from Dwaraka with his friends, he could know that somebody was there. So he went himself, and Nriga could remember, and Krishna himself, delivered him, and he got his, on the right hand side. We can see he got his, you know, his body back. So giving charity is good, but giving charity in the name of Krishna only liberates one. So even good deeds attached to Krishna frees one from fruitive results, both good and bad. So had he not been, if he would have been doing sacrifice, let's say, only for Krishna, not for his own benefit, because perhaps he was doing all this thinking that he will go to heaven or some other planets. Okay, this is how it is. So, karma yoga or karma sannyasa. Gyayasa nitya sannyasi. Yono dyosti na kankshati nirdvando hi mahabaho sukam bandha pramuchate. One who neither hates nor desires the fruits of his activities is known to always renounce. Such a person, liberated from all dualities, easily overcome material bondage, and he is completely liberated, O mighty armed Arjuna. So there's a beautiful explanation here of what is liberation. Generally, we think that liberation is only after death. Like we're talking about, Sayuja Mukti, Sarubhi Mukti, Salukya Mukti, Sashtra Mukti, etc. That is fine. That is there after death. But even there are Mahatmas like Sukamani. There are Mahatmas who are already in liberated form while living because of two things. They do not hate, they do not desire fruit of activities, and therefore they are liberated from all the dualities, and by that they are in the liberated stage. Sannyasasthu mahabaho dukkhamaptum ayogatah yogayukta munir brahma nachirena adhigacchati. Merely renouncing all activities yet not engaging in the devotional service of the Lord cannot make one happy, but a thoughtful person engaged in devotional service can achieve the supreme without delay. Krishna has said, Janma karma cha me divyam yume vatti tattvataha tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti mamiti sorjuna. So he has given such a, again, another formula saying that just by knowing this fact, just by tattvataha, means if you just know it, that my janma and my karma, my appearance and my work are divyam, are divine. By this knowledge, by knowing it factually, Yaktva deham punarjanma naiti. So there will be, after leaving the body, you will not uh, come for a rebirth. You will straight away come to my abode. So this is the reason why we can see that how all our Gruhis and the brahmacharis, how beautiful they are chanting and doing kirtan, because they are into this. They understand. They fully understand that what Krishna has said. But the people who renounce, they have not perhaps understood it properly. Because even we will see that what happens even at the stage of samadhi, in the you know in the eightfold samadhi. So this is another beautiful example. Haridas Thakurji, Haridas Thakur ki jai. He's called Namacharya. Why? Because he was 24 by 7. He was chanting. He was able to chant something around 1,90,000 something malas every day. And in fact, while he was absolutely old and near death at that point of time, Sri Chaitanya came and said that, okay, now you can little, slow down because, okay, I mean, it's okay. He said, no, uh, somebody offered him prasadam, Mahaprasadam. He said that, okay, wait, I'm diseased. So I'll take a little later. Disease means he has not completed his round. So what happened? One prostitute, once approached him and she was trying to allure him. So he was very humble and he said that, fine, okay, I'll talk to you. Just wait. Let me complete my round. And she waited. She waited. Next day again she approached. She said, no, I'm yet to complete. Let me complete the round. So on the third day, again she approached, but by that time, by the mere presence of, of Haridas Thakurji, the Namacharya, the prostitute became the devotee. That is the power of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So Brahmani आध्याय कर्माणि संगम त्यक्ता करोति यः लिप्यते न स पापेन पद्मपत्रं विवाम्बसा padmapatra vivambasa. So we can see that the water droplet on a lotus leaf, it's the surface of the lotus leaf is very, very velvety, so it doesn't wet, in fact. So there is no mark. If the, let's say, a wind just brushes away the water droplets, then it will be like nothing was there. So if the job of the leaf was to, let's say, carry the droplet, then that job was done perfectly. However, after doing the job, if the droplet goes off by a gush of air, then as if nothing was there. So that is the kind of state, Padmapatra Devamasa, which is required. So one who performs his duty without attachment, surrendering results unto the Supreme God, is not affected by sinful action, as the lotus leaf is untouched by water. This is a simile. So this is a takeaway. Emotional baggage, as it is often called, is when our past keeps pulling us back while we are trying to move on. Our prior successes do not allow us to take another step because current position feels safe enough, while past failures scare us from taking a step too. So emotional baggage is the ultimate hurdle for many and makes them stagnant. So there is an example. Like, for example, Hanumanji burns down Lanka as an offering to the Lord. It is not an aggression. It's a basically it's a submissive way he has done. Although it will look like he has burnt Lanka with an aggression, as a display of some dominance or something. No, he has done it as an offering to Lord. So because it is something like what Krishna said to Arjuna, Nimitta Matra Bhava Sabyasachi. So Hanuman become pure instrument of Sri Ram. Hence, this enables him to engage in the next service immediately. That is more important. Once somebody is not attached, then immediately he can take the next action because he's not thinking about the present job, which is already over. So he's not attached to the results of his past activities, nor is scared for failure because his every breath is for the service of the Lord. This is how we can also develop detachment. Achievements are just baggage if not placed at Krishna's lotus feet. This line is very, very important. Generally, we eulogize achievements so much nowadays. Somebody cracked something, this and that. So achievements and the entire corporate is about only achievement. Krishna is simply refuting it. That achievement is a baggage. today in corporate thing, achievement is increment, achievement is promotion, which is a baggage. So we can see Prabhupada how detached he is. He was doing 18 hours of job, but he was not having any kind of pride or any kind of this thing that okay, I had built 108 temples in 1 year. Nothing of that sort ever crosses his mind. How beautiful they're engaged.
Mhm.
So beautiful. So sarva karmani manasa sannyasasते सुखं वसी नवद्वारे पुरे देहि नैव कुर्वन् Nakarayan. Translation: when the embodied living beings controls his nature and mentally renounces all actions, he resides happily in the city of 9 gates. Which are the 9 gates? We'll see. Neither working nor causing work to be done. So the 9 gates are these: 2 ears, 2 nostrils, 2 eyes, 1 mouth, genitals, and 1 hand. So this will be absolutely clear. In fact, they say that when a person who is in the state of samadhi, then at the time of death he leaves from the sahasrara. Then 5.18, Vidya Vinay Sampanne Brahmani Gavi Hastini Suni Chaiva Swapake Cha Panditaha Samadarshinaha. The humble sage, by virtue of true knowledge, sees with equal vision a learned, a gentle Brahmana, a cow, an elephant, a dog, and a dog eater. So, what is the bandwidth that we can see? On one side, there's a Brahmana, on the other side is a dog eater. And he is able to see everyone equally. So, what is that he's seeing so that he's able to see it equally? Hare Krishna. What is that he's seeing? Is he seeing the soul or something else? Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Is he seeing soul or something else? So he's seeing, primarily, he's seeing the super soul. He's able to see because Sarvasya Chaha Murti Sannivishto Matta Sutir Jnanam Apohanam. This world would definitely be a very better place if everyone could get along. We could work with one another instead of against, which is generally where happening. So the ideology is called universal brotherhood, but there is a reason this hasn't been in practice anywhere in the world. Reason is that universal brotherhood is a distant dream until we accept a common universal father. So what's a beautiful logic? Universal brotherhood means there has to be a one father, and unless that is established, which Gita establishes, which Krishna says that I am the Bija Prada Pita, I am the father. And once we accept this, then by default, the universal brotherhood will prevail. However, people don't want to see that. However, they want to, endeavor in, uh, you know, false propagation of universal brotherhood, try to have brotherhood, this and that. Whereas the secret lies in accepting Krishna as the seed giving father. यही संस्प्रजा भोगा दुःखयोनः एव ते आदियन्तवन्तः कौन्तेय न ते सुरमते बुधाः antavanta. Yashavanta. Yashavanta is somebody who is having yasha. Similarly, something which is adi antavanta, which is having an adi and which is having an anta. Adi is beginning and anta is the end. If something which is having a beginning as an end, Kaunteya, son of Kunti, na tesu ramate buddhaha. The intelligent people do not, the wise men do not delight in them, which has got a beginning and which has got an end. Because if there is a beginning and there's an end, so what is the point? And what is that? And that is yahi sansparsaja bhoga dukkha yona evate. So anything that is due to the contact with the material sense, that is, that becomes the sansparsaja. Sansparsha is basically in terms of touch or contact with material senses, then that becomes a dukkha yoni, or rather something which gives birth to dukkha. As such, we are saying this place is dukkhalam ashashvatam. So it is also saying that an intelligent person does not take part in the source of the misery which are due to contact with the material senses. Similar thing was already told. Matra sparsha sukantayo sitoshna sukha dukkada. Agama paina anityastan titikshasvarjana. So anything, the moment the senses contact the material nature, there is a bound to be, miseries. There is no other way. And if at all there is a pleasure, at maybe some temporary pleasure which will come, then that also will have a beginning and an end. Because in any case, we understood about the inverted banyan tree. So each and every sense that we have, whether it's a sense of sight, that is eyes, or sense of smell, or sense of taste, a single, there are cases where by sense engagement of one sense, there is death. For example, this insects, by seeing the light, they're attracted, and all of them are just going towards the light and getting, instant death. All other insects are also looking at them, but it is so attractive. It is so, powerful that just one sense is a death factor. That is sight here. In the second case, the honeybee, for the taste, it goes inside of the flower to take the taste of honey, but it forgets. So by the time the evening happens, sundown happens, and the flower closes, and it just no air, it can't breathe, and it dies because of just one sense, that is sense of taste. The face, just because of the sense of, no, that is yeah. And
Voice.
then sorry,
Jiva.
yeah. And elephant, we know elephant because of the smell. How elephant is caught? He elephant is basically, she elephant is kept inside a, there is a small ditch is given, and some kind of earth is put into that, and a sea elephant is nearby, so that the he elephant is get attracted by the smell, and then you know uh, just goes inside the ditch. By just one sense, death happens. So just think about, we are using all our five senses in all kinds of sense engagement. So what will happen to us? So senses are temporary. It will always have a desire to enjoy through the sense objects, and which is always temporary. Dukkhalayam aswasatvam. However, soul is eternal, which is, so in our sarvasachayam hrudi sannivisto, so in our heart, there is soul and also there is super soul. Super soul is like a witness, like two birds on a branch. So super soul as a Paramatma, it is waiting that when the soul will turn his eye towards him. But he is so much engaged in the fruit of the branch that he is not turning his eye. So when this turning of eye will happen? Only when there is a desire to serve. And that is how the Krishna consciousness comes into picture. You can see all these people, how they're engaged in sense enjoyment for something or other. Somebody is robbing, somebody is raping, somebody is doing something, you know, go to any extent. However, here on the top, you can see that how beautifully they're chanting and then doing kirtan, and slowly they're going towards, getting out of the senses, because they're engaging their senses for Krishna. And these people are engaging their senses to some of their sense. either for touch or smell or whatever. शक्नोतैव यः सोढुं प्राक्शरीर विमोक्षणात् काम क्रोधो भावं वेगं स युक्तः स सुखी नरः. Sanskrit has a beautiful term that is called Begam. Begam is not just, it's not speed. Begam is a force. So it's a vector kind of a quantity. That is a velocity kind of a thing. Means it has a direction and a force, a forceful speed, so to say. So there is a Bacha Begam, that is a Mano Begam. So much of thing is there. So the propensity to talk is called a Bacha Begam. Think something always is a Mano Begam. So various kind of taste. So Vega is there from various senses. To see good things, to hear, to hear some good things. So all this, to touch something. So giving up this present body, if one is able to tolerate the urges of the material senses and check the force of desire and anger, he is a yogi and is happy in this world. Most important is to tolerate the urges. Therefore, Krishna is saying, Sitashna Sukha Dukkada, Agama Paina Anitastan, Tirtiksha Arjuna, Tirtiksha, tolerate it. Yantoh Sukha, यंतो सुख अंतरात्मा तथांतर्योतिर्येव यः सो योगी ब्रह्म निर्वाणम ब्रह्मभूत अधिगच्छति. One whose happiness is within, who is active within, who rejoices within, and is illuminated within, is actually the perfect mystic. He is liberated in the Supreme and ultimately attains the Supreme. Like if we are not happy when we are alone, then it is called, in a humorous sense, that we are in a bad company. Happiness is within, not outside us. If you want to know about the structure, so how do you, what are the various ways to acquire knowledge? And what is the knowledge? Knowledge is to serve Krishna. The knowledge is that we are the part and parcel of Krishna. The knowledge is that we are the permanent servitor of Krishna. This knowledge will come how? For that matter, any knowledge, in what way it can be, received. So, for example, somebody wants to know the structure of the atom. So, what he can do? One, he can do, he can look at the stone deeply for a long time, concentrate and hope to see a clear image of an atom. He cannot. Then he close his eyes, take a deep breath, and now imagine the structure of an atom. Again, very difficult. Now, the third one is the easiest one, but nobody wants to do that. Just go to your nearest university, head on the physics department, ask anyone, even the peon, then they will show, the professor, student, or anyone who knows, they will show, because they cannot show you an atom, although it is everywhere. But if you keep your faith in them, you will learn just as they did, provided their source of information is certified. That is parampara. Because they know the law of physics. The entire science fraternity knows in a particular way. And that is their parampara. And by that one can know. So option one is called Pratyaksha Pramana in Shastra, while option two, that is closing eyes, deep breath, and imagine something, that is called Anumana Pramana. Some kind of Anumana somebody is doing, speculation. And the final option is the Shabda Pramana, where the Parampara comes into picture. So Shabda Pramana, which is a Shruti also, because it is coming from Krishna to Brahma to Narada to and then to Sri Chaitanya to Prabhupada. This is how it is happening. Yes, Mother, you were saying something?
Yes, Ikshvaku.
Ikshaku. Yeah, that is
Yes.
no, that is something different, Mataji. That is when Gita was spoken, first it was 120 million years ago, Gita was spoken to Sun God. Sun God gave this knowledge to Manu. Manu gave it to Ishaku, and then it was lost. Now I'm talking about something else. I'm talking about our parampara. The parampara we are in. We are in Gaudiya Madhva, Brahma Gaudiya Madhva parampara. So that parampara is, you know. So Srimad Bhagavatam. Challenging attitude cannot help one realize this transcendental message. A devotee who is detached from the material world is even friendlier by nature with one and all and becomes very attached to serving the Lord and his devotees as well as being friendly with all living entities. This is the quality of a devotee. And this is now the peace formula, most important formula. We must know it. This is the most important takeaway of chapter 5. Oktaram yagatapasam sarvaloko maheshwaram suhridam sarvabhutanam gyatva mam shantir ruchyati gyatva mam santim ruchyati. Oktaram yagatapasam. So, for all this sacrificial, for all this, any sacrifice anybody is doing to any devata or anyone for that matter, everything goes to Krishna. He is the benefactor of all the sacrifices. And he is a Sarvaloka Maheswaram. Means he is the supreme lord of all planets. And he is Surudam Sarvabhutana. He is the only friend of each and every living entity. And if we know these three, what are these three? One, he is the Bhoktaram Yagatapasa. So he is the beneficiary of all the sacrifices. Second, he is the Sarvaloka Maheswaram. He is the proprietor, the supreme lord of all the planets and all the demigods and everyone. And third, he is the friend and well-wisher of everybody. If we just know this, just by knowing and accepting this, Gyatva Mam Shantin Uchati, attain peace from the pangs of material miseries. So the sages, knowing me as the ultimate purpose of all sacrifices and austerities, the supreme lord of all planets and demigods, and the benefactor and well-wisher of all living being entities, attain peace from the pangs of material miseries. So we can see the Gopas. They have accepted him as their friend. So he's reciprocating in the same way. So what was that verse? Reciprocating in the same way? Tam tathaiva sat bhajamyaham. But what was the previous line? Ye yatha mam prapadyante tam tathaivascha bhajamyaham. And here the form of Karana Dakshai Vishnu. Every inhalation, it goes to the absolute dissolution, and every exhalation, thousands, billions and billions of, you know, universes are created. So therefore, he is the Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. So Bhaktaranga offer everything because he is the Bhaktaram of all. He is the supreme enjoyer. We can see this beautiful pastime of Lord when, you know, this lady, the fruit seller came and he didn't have anything to give. So he had some grain or something he had given. And this lady has given her so many fruits. And then when she went away, her basket was full of all kinds of jewelries and jewels and diamonds and so yeah, yatha ma prapadantam tam tathaiva sa bhajamyaham. Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. Great. So what is the definition? That one is that if somebody is the, supreme, what does it mean? Supreme means nobody is equal to him and nobody is higher to him. Nobody is equal to him, nobody is higher to him. So therefore he is the supreme. And Suhridam Sarvabhutana. He is the well-wisher of entities. So when, in fact, Krishna in the Golak Vrindavan, he's there, and any living entity who gets the liberation, I mean, any of the liberation like Salukya Mukti, Sarupya Mukti, or any Mukti where they goes to Golak Vrindavan, he's there, he embraces, he's there, I'm waiting for you, when you will come. He's waiting for all of us. Please come. So he embraces. But we engaged in sense gratification. So what he will do? But he is all merciful. He is giving all knowledge how to go. And he is giving through the parampara. And our founder Acharya has given written so many books. Nothing else is required to read. Just his books, enough. Bhagavad Gita is there, Bhagavatam is there, his other literatures are there. It is everything. Nothing is supposed to be read more. So Bhaktaram Yakatapasam Sarvalokam Maheswaram Srudam Sarvabhutanam. This is the peace formula. So know God, the knowledge of God, then you know the peace. There is no God, there is no peace. For example, life lesson, I think I am the enjoyer, but that binds me to the cycle of action, reaction. The moment we think like that, we are the temporary owners. Why we are the temporary owners? We are the temporary owners. In the body, it's a temporary. The body will go, then we'll get another body, then we'll get another body. Right? So it is said that before death, in fact, before it is something like this, that if you are on a rent, then definitely you are not going to leave the house before you actually settle another agreement for the rent. So generally, the body is already ready by the time the person or the living entity is leaving the body, based on karma, based on prarabdha, based on so many things. Sanchita karma. So peace formula is Krishna is the supreme enjoyer, Krishna is the supreme controller, and Krishna is our well-wisher. So this is a beautiful example. A brick of gold can be used as a paperweight. We can see that this can be used as a paperweight, but that is a way. There's a, as Prabhupada always say, that there is a rascal way of using it. He uses the word rascal. But the purpose of the brick was much superior. If you use it as a paperweight, then it is absolutely foolish way. Similarly, if we think human life is for sense enjoyment, making money, etc., is even bigger fool for wasting our such precious life in mundane endeavor. Because manava jivana sudurlabha manava. Not only durlabha, sudurlabha. It's too rare, rarest of the rare. So we must use this human form for Krishna consciousness and nothing else, because there is no other opportunity. We don't know next life what will happen. We will be given opportunity or not. If we let's say what happened to Nriga, he became a lizard. If he was not delivered, then he would not have been chance. And the best example is Prahlad Maharaj, who has accepted all the three, like Supreme Controller, Sarvaloka Maheswaram, Bhaktaram, Sarvatapasam, Sarvaloka Maheswaram. Everything he has accepted. He has accepted Vishnu as the supreme controller. He has accepted Vishnu as the Lord of all sacrifices. He has accepted Vishnu as the friend of all living entities. And that is because of that determination and that faith. So many things has happened to him, but nothing could harm him. He was put off from the hill cliff, among the snakes. He was under the foot of an elephant, put into the fire, and so many things. Nothing happened. And the last picture, this picture where all the demigods, including Shivaji, Parvatiji, Lakshmiji, everyone tried. I mean, they were afraid to approach Narasimhadev. And our little Prahlad, beautifully, with his full determination, with his full faith, he approached, and then the anger of Narasimhadev came down. So this is the chapter summary. Sannyasa or Karma Yoga, course Karma Yoga. So yes, Shreya, he is asking, then Karma Yoga is definitely better than Sannyasa, because Karma Yoga visishyate. The Niskama Karma frees one from bondage. Yes, this is primarily, we are not waiting for the fruit of the result. So Kurban api na lipyate, and then liberation by focus on Supreme. Yatva mam santi mruchati. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यश्च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमो। हरे कृष्णा।
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. I stop sharing and I have to stop this